John Iamarino is kind of, I guess, we mentioned this last year. This is your, the Southern Conference's the holiday time, really. You've got a circumstance right now. It's the, basketball tournament. And the NCAAs it's up on the board. All the teams are there. This is Christmas time this weekend. The Southern Conference tournaments, both men and women's, in the Southern Conference in Asheville. And so we'd like to have him on at this time every year. John, thanks for joining us here on Tri-City Sports Now. I guess to begin with, I'd like to talk some baseball. I know that right now the Southern Conference teams, they're playing teams in conferences that are a bit larger than they are in terms of you guys are in terms of revenue and all this. But a nice victory for Furman yesterday against the University of South Carolina. And what is your outlook this year with Southern Conference baseball?
Yeah, I think we're going to be a lot better, Marky, than we have been in recent years. And when the realignment took place, we took a bit of a dip, but we lost some good programs. But this is a very competitive group of 10 institutions. I know that we've got several programs. Furman, you mentioned, the BMI is much improved from a year ago. I think, ETSU has a new coach. Citadel has a new coach. So we're expecting very good things from baseball. I think it's always going to be one of our stronger sports, and we expect that to continue.
Well, I know that I asked you once about what sport would likely be the most likely to win a national championship out of the SoCon, and you did say baseball. I know the Citadel is down right now, but right now, even with the Citadel down, and you're talking about this Furman winning and all this, it seems like baseball is, playing at something of a high level. Do you think that any of the top teams in the SoCon this year could contend for the riches that the Citadel have in the past, making the College World Series?
Well, that's hard to speculate on that. I mean, a lot of things have to break right, and we're still early in the season. We haven't played any conference games, so I think it's a little presumptuous to start thinking about Omaha, but certainly that's the goal of not only all our programs, but all of the 300 or so baseball programs out there. And I do think we're going to have a good year. We've gotten off to a good start. And the tournament takes place in a terrific ballpark in Greenville, and everybody gets to participate, unlike some other conferences. So, I think our baseball is poised to be, one of the standard bearers for our conference.
Well, right now it's all about basketball, what with the conference tournament coming underway. And I guess I wanted to ask, first of all, the FBI probe on college basketball right now, how do you think that affects the Southern Conference? Could you see a circumstance, well, first of all, do you see a circumstance where the FBI probe could finger anyone in the SoCon?
I'm not going to comment on that.
Yeah.
That any of our programs are in any trouble, but that would be sheer speculation, and I'm not very good at that.
I understand that totally. I was hoping that if you had heard something, you might be able to reveal it right now, though. John Iamarino, Commissioner of the Southern Conference. But really what we've heard are the larger programs, and every indication is that the FBI, and we've heard about everyone, Louisville, obviously, Auburn, you name it. I mean, even Duke has been involved in this. I wanted to ask, though, how do you think that the FBI probe will affect the Southern Conference in terms of if there are a lot of teams that lose their coaches, if they do go on probation, how will this affect the prestige? Could the Southern Conference in basketball actually move up the ladder?
Well, I mean, I have not spent a whole lot of time thinking about that, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Like many people in college athletics, we're waiting to see what happens with the FBI, but probe. But it's way too early to think about how this might affect any conference or any program. These are just reports from the media so far. Other than what occurred occurred back in November when the FBI said, yes, we've identified these 5 individuals who are assistant coaches and some others involved with the shoe companies. We don't have anything on record from the FBI, so it's way too early to think about, what this might mean for our conference or any other.
I understand, so forth. So no comment from the commissioner of the Southern Conference right now, which until more comes out maybe is the best method to take here. John Iamarino, I do want to ask you about increasing attention for the Southern Conference. There's an article today by Joe Avento in the Johnson City Press where it touts that ETSU is leading the league in attendance at 4,400 fans a game for men's basketball. But to be fair, that's 4,000 less than occurred about 25 years ago during the Mr. Jennings era. And for that matter, when ETSU went down to the Citadel, there were only 412 fans in the arena. So what are you trying to do as the Southern Conference Commissioner to showcase the SoCon and increase the attendance?
Well, I think this is an issue that a lot of institutions and conferences are dealing with. Trying to get the attention of a fan base that's increasingly splintered in the multiple options they have available to them. As we make our digital network and our games available on ESPN3, it's great to be able to get our product out that way, and so people can watch on all kinds of different devices or on widescreen TVs and that. But it makes it a little more easier for the fan to say, well, I can just sit home tonight. It's cold or it's raining outside. I don't have to go outdoors. I don't have to battle parking or anything like that. I can watch from at home. So attendance, may be a lower attendance could be a byproduct of having more games available digitally and on TV, and it's something that we talk about at our league meetings. And we want to make the experience of actually coming to the stadium or the arena or what have you, the kind of thing that a fan will say, that was a lot of fun. It was great to be among all the fans rooting for the home team. It's worth it to go out and do those things. So I don't know that we've solved it. I know that college football attendance has been down the last 4 years, went down again this year. College basketball attendance is down generally, not just in the Southern Conference. So it's an issue that all of us are trying to get our arms around and figure out, what kinds of things, whether it be unique promotions or, added wireless in the building so that social media has become so important in the fan experience. You're seeing institutions beginning to sell beer more commonly at college events, but they're trying to get the fans that full experience that would get them to come attend the game rather than just watch it at home.
Is beer going to come to the SoCon?
That's an institutional decision. We have no conference rule. We do sell beer at a number of our championship events, including basketball this week in Asheville, and at our baseball tournament. But for the regular season, those are strictly institutional decisions.
I understand here. Hey, there was announced today, I guess, that the National Invitation Tournament, that they would be experimenting with some rule changes. You've got, 4 quarters, for instance. You've got circumstances they're going to move the three-point arc back to 22 feet in the NIT games. Could you see this happening into all of college basketball in the near future?
I think it's possible, Marky, and I think that's why the experimentation is happening with the NIT. As you know, the women's game has gone to quarters. They did that, I think it was voted in 3 years ago. And what it's done is it's reduced the number of free throws shot because teams are not in the bonus so early, and it's got other benefits. It seems like the game's the pace of play goes quicker. You've got 4 opportunities for a last second shot instead of just 2. So I actually like the idea of experimenting with quarters rather than 2 halves. With regard to the 3-point line,
Good. There you go. He likes the quarters. Hey, I only have a minute left, so I would just want to ask you, where do you see the Southern Conference, let's say, in 5 years?
I think we're poised to remain, a conference that, has all the right values in terms of balance between academics and athletics. We've created several academic initiatives with provosts working together over the past 3 or 4 years that are first in the conference's history. I think we will continue to build on rivalries that, were kind of rechristened, such as ETSU and Chattanooga, and new ones that are being built, Mercer and Wofford, or Mercer and Furman.
VMI and Citadel from the old days. I've got to go, John Iamarino. Thanks for your time.
You're very welcome.